welcome to the Hungriest Knitter. This is episode 4. I'm Rachel, your resident hungry knitter, and if you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for coming by and spending a little time with me today. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. First things first, let's celebrate. We have just over 100 members in the Ravelry group, which is really exciting. I can't believe that. I'm kind of blown away. I can't believe every time I get a new episode up, let alone that there are at least 100 of you who are vaguely interested in this. So thank you so much. It's great to see people chatting in the group, and I am thinking that when we get to, I haven't decided yet, either 150 or 200 members in the Ravelry group, I'm gonna do a giveaway. So I'll let you know about that when I sort of figure out what I want to do. Also, I want to apologize. I'm going to sound a little froggy today. Excuse me. Just after we celebrated my boyfriend's birthday, I got really sick with a sinus infection and then got laryngitis. And so my voice is just coming back and I sound a little gross. So I apologize. I will be sipping tea and water throughout to keep me going. So with that, let's dive in with what's off my needles. So for just one thing today, which are my striped rag vanilla socks, and I'm really happy that I got these done. I cranked them out, like I said, right after I recorded the last episode, and I think they turned out great. I was really happy that my stripes lined up, so they're kind of almost perfect. We have matching toes, yeah, tip to tail, pretty much the same, so I'm really happy. And this is out of the Patton's Croy blue striped rag colorway, which everyone and their grandmother is knitting. And when you wash it, it gets a lot softer, which is nice. These are great and woolly. My last hurrah for winter, I guess. So I'm really happy with the way these turned out. And I haven't started my next pair of socks yet, but it definitely has me excited to do it. And I want to try some new stuff because while I do really love the fit and I love the durability of a good old-fashioned heel flap, I really want to try some other techniques just to see what's out there and to learn some new techniques. That's my favorite thing about knitting, is kind of trying new things. So, but I'm really happy with these, and they're super soft and cozy, and I got them done right in time for the Homespun House knit-along, which is cool. So I never finish knit-alongs in time, ever. I'm the slowest man alive when it comes to knitting. So, 1FO. Ta-da! As for what's on my needles, I have been pretty monogamous the last 2 weeks. Primarily focused on my Pomme de Pin cardigan, which I'm actually making some headway on now. I'm still just working on the body, but we're at 12 inches long on the body right now. I need to get to 17 inches, and then I start dividing for sleeves. Now that I've completely memorized the lace pattern, so much so that I don't need to look at the charts or I don't need to reference anything, which is really nice. And so it's moving a lot faster now. And since I was sick, unfortunately, I was feeling so poorly that I didn't get a lot of time to knit. But I did start tracking. I got some good knitting time in over the weekend. So I think the first time I showed this to you, to give some points of reference, I think I was around here. Maybe here. And so then between then and Saturday, so 3-4 days ago, I got to this marker. And then just on Saturday and Sunday, and I knit a little bit last night, but not too much. I've cranked out 2 repeats of the stitch pattern. It's a 12 row stitch pattern, so I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. And I can actually like chat while I knit on this. And I had some girlfriends over one night, and I was knitting on this, and it wasn't a big deal. And then you know, I knitted on this on Sunday with a beer, and it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. So I'm really glad, really happy with the way this is turning out. And I've decided to set myself a little goal, which is to have this done in time for Maryland Sheep and Wool. So it's about a month and a half away. And I don't think that that's it's not unreasonable at all. It just means that I actually need to be a bit more monogamous than I usually am. But I think it's doable. It certainly is. I'm just a slow knitter. But yeah, I think that that'll be a great goal to have. Even though it's always kind of up in the air what the weather will be like for Maryland Sheep and Wool. It can be really, really hot, or it can be chilly. So we'll see what happens. But I think with a lace sweater, I can definitely push up the sleeves, but also it's going to be airy, so that'll be nice. And either way, I will endure whatever it is so that I can wear it. So that is my primary FO right now. And again, I'm knitting this out of Bartlett Yarns Fisherman, what is it called? Fisherman Sport in the Willow colorway. And another reason I'd love to get this done is because I bought this cone a couple years ago at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I could wear this to the Bartlett Yarns booth and show them how beautiful their yarn knits up, as if they don't already know. But it would still be fun to do, and then I can buy more cones with less guilt. So that's my primary project. And then the other project I've been working on this week is my Mitsutama shawl by Olga Jazzy. And this again, I'm knitting in Madeline Tosh 80-10-10 sport weight, and this colorway is called Holy Festival. So it's a speckled cream, it's a cream colored base with speckled brights all over it. It's beautiful. I am about 13 repeats into this, and as we see, it's polka dotted and fun, and I kind of love the erratic way that things are pulling up. It's so beautiful. This yarn is like knitting with butter, which is a delight. It's so soft. I constantly kind of want to rub it on my face, but I'm a sick person, so as in I'm feeling poorly, so I probably shouldn't do that, especially because I do plan to give this as a gift. I will wash it in very, very warm hot water to gently in hot water to kill all the germs. I'm going to give this to my mom because I think she loves these colors. She saw this knitting up and she was like, well, if you don't want it, so I'll give it to her. I also I'm loving this pattern. It's another pattern that's like super easy to memorize. Once you have it in your head, you can kind of just motor through. So it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a mindless, let's call autopilot, as the Knitmores would say, an autopilot project, which I'm adoring it. I feel like I'm not a shawl person, but I feel like I could knit a couple of these. So I do think I want to make myself one too, but I'm not sure what yarn I'll use. I have to stash dive, and maybe I'll buy some more Madeline Tosh like I was talking about last episode. But until then, I'm really loving working on this, and it's a lot of fun. So again, that was the Mitsutama shawl designed by Olga Jazzy. I love this pattern. It's a lot of fun to knit. Those are the only 2 projects I've worked on. I'm being really, really good. Like not going crazy, trying to get in a bunch of rows on a bunch of different projects. And it's nice because then I can actually sort of see the fruits of my labor, because I can see substantial progress being made. Oh, I wanted to talk about events. There are a few events coming up in the area that I'll be attending, and so I thought I'd bring them up here, and y'all can let me know if you'll be going too, and then maybe we can organize a meetup or whatever. Come up and say hi, of course. But so the first event that is coming up is really soon. It's on March 23rd. And this is the Homespun Yarn Party, which is at the historic Savage Mill in Savage, Maryland. And it's free to attend, and I will be there. I have attended this twice before, and I love it. It's really small. It's like one room full of indie dyers, indie spinners, like lots of really cool yarns and fibers. And I'm going primarily to see Neighborhood Fiber Company, because as if I haven't like professed my love for her enough. Her yarns are beautiful, and I want to see them in person and maybe get a couple skeins of sock yarn that I don't need, maybe. So she's going to be there. That's my big thing. But also, I think Dragonfly Fibers is going to be there, I think. Cephalopod will be there. Verdant Griffin will be there. There's a lot of great dyers. Dancing, I can't remember the name. Dancing something. She has beautiful yarn. Oh, I'm the worst. There's going to be a lot of really incredible dyers there. It's a great, they usually do raffles and stuff during the day. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to kind of stick around. There are tables all over, so you can kind of hang out for a bit. There's ample parking, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. March 23rd is a Sunday. It's gonna be fun. So if you Google, I don't know the website offhand. I think it's probably homespunyarnparty.com, but if it's not, if you just Google Homespun Yarn Party, your first hit will be the website with all the information. And and Gourmet Stash is gonna be there. Her stuff is so beautiful. So beautiful. There's gonna be so much great stuff there. So I'm really excited to check that out. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And then on May 3rd and 4th, is Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which is at the Howard County Fairgrounds. And I will be attending on the Saturday, May 3rd. And that's like the big guns for me, right? So I am really excited for Maryland Sheep and Wool this year. I don't know that I'm going to be doing a lot of fiber shopping. I go to see Bartlett Yarns, of course. I love them. There's some like local spinners and stuff that'll be there that are exciting. And it's just kind of, it's more about the community for me. Often I bring a non-knitter with me, and we get some cheese, we pet some sheep, we watch the sheepdog trials, we kind of do all that stuff too. And I like kind of doing part like shopping and waiting online and that kind of stuff, and then part sort of hanging out and getting a chance to see people that I haven't seen all year. So if you're going, let me know. Maybe we can organize a meetup or something if you guys are interested. I mean, or of course, just please come up and say hi if you see me. I will probably be hopefully be wearing my Palm to Pin cardigan, so you'll be able to recognize me and my enormous glasses. So I am so excited for those two, and then we'll see what's up next for me as the year progresses. I am considering Rhinebeck. I would need to kind of find a group to latch onto, someone who's willing to adopt me. But I think a thing I want to do this year is sort of start checking out some more knitting events, and maybe doing some knitting traveling. And I think that would be a fun way to keep exploring this craft that I love so much. So we'll see what happens. Until then, those two events are on the calendar, so I hope I see you guys there. Um, Next, I think we can talk a little bit about on the town. I haven't gone many places in the last 2 weeks because I have been sick. But I did get to go to dinner on my boyfriend's birthday. We went to dinner to celebrate on that evening. And so we went to a restaurant that is in the Palisades neighborhood of DC, which is I've never really spent any time in Palisades. It's a really interesting neighborhood. It's near Georgetown, and it's like on the edge of the city. You kind of feel, I was calling it the Georgetown Annex, because you sort of feel like you're not in DC, but it is inside the city limits. And we went to a restaurant called Et Voila! Exclamation point. And it is a French-Belgian restaurant that my boyfriend had been to before, but I hadn't. So it was a lot of fun to go. And it's definitely like a real neighborhood feel restaurant where everybody knew each other. And we kept joking, we kept laughing because I think we were the only two people there who were like under the age of 40, which was really fun. There was a kid wearing like a ridiculous fedora, like a 10-year-old kid, and we were loving it. But so you could see it was a real community neighborhood restaurant, and the people come in time and time again, and I can tell you why. The food is phenomenal there. So we shared some mussels gratin to start. So, I mean, come on, mussels with like butter and cheese and breadcrumbs broiled on the top. It can't be bad, right? It was lovely. It was delicious. And we like to joke that my boyfriend is like the order. He always has the best order. Like he always picks the best food. We each ordered a different beer, and I loved his. And I ordered something I knew that I liked, but I was like, oh, yours is so good. And then the same thing happened with the entrees. I ordered delicious lobster porcini risotto. It was lovely and really flavorful and earthy. And he ordered a duo of duck. So it was a seared duck breast with like the beautiful like crisp skin, and then a duck sausage alongside it, and it was with some root veg and I want to say some braised red cabbage too. It was so good. You guys, it was incredible. It was just like so rich and savory, and it was incredible. And then, at least for dessert, I did the good ordering for dessert, and I got creme brulee. He had an almond pear tart, and then I also had a tawny port because it could be my birthday too. I was buying. I could do whatever I want. I didn't drive. But I love an after dinner drink. So it was a lot of fun. We had a really nice time, and it was definitely one of those things where it was like we felt like we weren't in the city. When we got back in the car, we were like, all right, let's go to the real city now, where it feels more urban. It definitely feels like a suburban or kind of a more rural feel out where Et Voila is located. But their food is phenomenal. If you are in the DC area, it's definitely worth a trip. Make sure you get a reservation. We had a reservation and still had to wait. So, wonderful French Belgian food. Apparently they have a mussel burger there. You guys, I need to go back for lunch so I can try the mussel burger because that sounds incredible. So we had a great time there. Other than that, I have not really been out in the city too much this week, in the last week or so, because I've been feeling so poorly. So hopefully we do have some upcoming plans. So hopefully I'm thinking about some more interesting kind of like neighborhood tours or things that I like to do in a day. Um, sort of chats that I could share about my favorite neighborhoods in DC, and there are so many. So that will be on the docket soon. So let's talk about what's on my stovetop. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who shared really great recipes with me. For my boyfriend's birthday, I ended up taking some inspiration. Oh gosh, I can't remember who said it. I'm sorry. I hate that. I can't remember your Ravelry name. Someone on the boards recommended that I make beer cheese. And then I started Googling and I found a recipe for like hot, melty beer cheese dip. So we skipped like a regular cheese board and I made this, which had like, it's such an old school recipe. It had like evaporated milk in it. It was delicious. Everyone went bonkers over that. So that was really fun. The um, the stout cake was amazing. Chocolate stout cake from the Smitten Kitchen. I am obsessed with her baking recipes. If you're looking for a chocolate cake recipe that is moist and dense and not really labor intensive, I would totally recommend that you give this one a try. In order to make it a sheet cake, I increased the recipe by half. So I did 1.5 times all the ingredients, and it turned out great. It was perfect size. It rose beautifully. I didn't have any problems getting it out of the pan. I had heard some stories that it would stick, but I got it out of the pan while it was still warm, and it was fine. And on top, I put a whiskey buttercream, which I just did a regular buttercream recipe. And instead of putting more milk or cream or whatever dairy product you had, I put in somewhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons of a whiskey that my boyfriend suggested I use, and it was super good. I will say it is a testament to the recipe that my good friend was there when I made the frosting, and after I frosted the cake, she just took the bowl and the spatula from me, and just like kind of wandering around the house, licking the spatula and just eating the remnants of the frosting that was in the bowl. And when she didn't know what I put in it, and when she was done with it, she came up to me and said, "Rachel, that frosting is so good. Did you put coconut in it?" No, that's whiskey. And she was like, "Oh, I'm drunk. It's so good." I don't think you could really get drunk off of this. There's such a minuscule amount, unless you ate the whole bowl, but then you'd be sick. So it was fantastic. We had rave reviews on that. And then my boyfriend made some incredible carnitas with using beer and some great seasoning. And those were incredible. So I think I'm going to be lifting that technique from him and getting a pork shoulder in the next week or two to make my own, because I know that I could repurpose those in so many different things. I love to make a pork shoulder and then, make some tacos, have pulled pork sandwiches one night, and then take the leftovers and make a pork ragu with it. That sounds so wonderful. Okay, I have to do that. There's one more cooking thing that's been on my brain lately, which is I work in an office and I like to bring a lunch, and I've been thinking about some healthy, interesting lunches to bring to the office. I just read a great article on the kitchen about different salads that you could make and pack for work in those little bento boxes that have the separate compartments, which is a cool idea. But I think instead of that, the way I like to pack a salad is to put my heartiest ingredients on the bottom with the dressing, and then stack it up, And then on the top, you just put your greens. And then when you get to work and you're ready to eat your salad, you can just shake up your container. You can do it in a mason jar, you can do it in a Tupperware container, whatever you have. And then you can shake it up with the lid on, and then your salad's ready to go. So one of the suggested recipes was to make a salad with spring greens, lentils, feta, chopped hazelnuts, and pear with a balsamic vinaigrette. So I don't have all those things, but I have some of those things. So I'm thinking that a lentil salad will be in my future. But I'd love to hear what you like to pack for lunches or maybe travel foods that are kind of healthy, maybe a nod to, our changing seasons. Spring is coming here. Finally. So what are your favorite things to pack for lunch? I get really bored. I often just kind of bring the leftovers from dinner, or I just make a basic sandwich. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So I'd love to hear what you're making, and just what you're cooking this week. There's been a great chat on the cooking thread on the Ravelry board all about pie. Pie is one of my favorite things on the planet. I'm definitely going to talk about pie in an upcoming episode. I love baking pie, and it reminds me of my grandmother. So, and I could probably make pies in my sleep. It's like second nature to me to be able to bake pies. And my boyfriend and I love baking pies together. We both have our different recipes that we like to do, but we are huge fans of pie. It's probably my favorite dessert, hands down. Pie. Every time. But, yeah, so I think that's everything that I have to share with you guys today. But if you have things to share about cooking or pie or your knitting or whatever's going on, I'd love to hear about it. So join us in the Ravelry group. It's called the Hungriest Knitter Videocast on Ravelry. If you search the Hungriest Knitter, you'll be able to find us. You can find the show notes and all the recipes I post and my other blog posts at thehungriestknitter.com. If you want to talk to me online, I am Rachel Lynn C. on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Ravelry. So come say hi, or if you want to shoot me an email, my email is thehungriestknitter@gmail.com. I love hearing from viewers. I love hearing your feedback. If you have ideas, if you have comments, constructive criticism, whatever you want to tell me, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know if you're going to be at some of the upcoming events or some events that are near you that I might be interested in. Tell me everything. Feel free to PM me or shoot me an email. I love hearing from you guys. And reviews on iTunes are really greatly appreciated as they help bump the podcast up through the ranks so that people can find it more easily. I love hearing from you guys. It's great to know that I'm not doing this in a vacuum, and that we can kind of find community together. That's sort of the most meaningful part of doing this all for me. So until next time, keep knitting and stay hungry. Bye.